And welcome into this edition of ACAP Today for the week of October 25th, 2021. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's edition of ACAP Today, it's that time of year again when we turn up the thermostats in our home. We're going to talk about readying your home for the winter season, how you can keep warm in your home this season. We'll get some tips and tricks. We'll also talk with the program lead of our home energy and home repair, as well as weatherization programs about the programs that we do offer here in case you are in need of assistance and how you can access those programs. We're going to do that in just a little bit, but before we get to that, as we do at each point on ACAP Today at the beginning of the program, we're going to first turn to the news and information that you can use again for this week of October 25th, 2021. And we begin with our news by sharing some really good news that we hope will come to fruition here in Aroostook County in the next couple of years. And that's both U.S. Senators Susan Collins and Angus King have supported a resolution that is now going to the floor of the U.S. Senate and House that would provide for funding for a mobile services unit here in Aroostook County that would allow ACAP to take our services, particularly to smaller communities where we don't have an office presence and where there's a smaller community focus in terms of a local downtown. We really look forward to this project, and we thank Senators Collins and King for championing the funding for this. Again, it still has to clear the final hurdle of a vote on the House floor and the Senate floor, but the two U.S. Senators from Maine have endorsed this project, and we look forward to working with community partners across Aroostook County to determine how this vehicle will actually look, what it will contain, and how we can hopefully roll it out in a couple of years to serve folks here across Aroostook County, especially in rural, underserved communities here in northern Maine. So again, thank you to Senator Collins and Senator King. We also want to share with you that the Youth Leadership Conference for the state of Maine is being held on November 4th and 5th. You can register along with young people from across the state. Middle, high school, and college age youth are all welcome to participate in the 2 days of workshops, skill building, and connection. The site to visit is mayan.org, that's maineyouthactionnetwork.org. You can register right online. If you have any questions, certainly give us a call here at ACAP. Our prevention team are certainly in touch with what will be happening at this conference and can help talk to you about maybe connecting you with other youth in the area who might be interested in attending. ACAP is also reminding folks that very shortly on November 1st, the healthcare open marketplace for health insurance marketplace will open up on November 1st here in the state of Maine. There is a new resource that is providing even better incentives, including helping people to determine whether they might be eligible for Maine Care. Andrea White is ACAP's healthcare navigator. She's able to help folks navigate through the website and help them make decisions on what important healthcare and insurance coverage might be best for them. If you would like to avail yourself of that resource, please give Andrea a call or send her an email. The phone number and the information is available there on your screen. And again, this is a valuable service that we are providing during the open enrollment period from November 1st through the 15th of January. At other points in the year, we also offer this service, but folks aren't readily available to just get into the marketplace unless they've had a life-changing situation. So again, please do reach out to us as this important opportunity arises to connect with health insurance, again, the 1st of November to the 15th of January. We are also in our Let's Go 5210 program offering a couple of workshops that are coming up. The first this year on the 1st of December. These are specifically for school nutrition individuals who work in school nutrition offices and in cafeterias across Aroostook County and across the state of Maine. There are webinars on healthy breakfast ideas to fuel student success, as well as seasoning school meals, adding pizzazz to the plates of children at school. These will be offered again in partnership with Maine Health's Let's Go 5210 program, which ACAP is a local participant in. And we encourage you to reach out to Renee Bragdon here at the agency if you have any questions or to get your school nutrition staff registered for these workshops. Information sessions are also being held about all ACAP services, and we're inviting community members and partners alike to join us for them. The next available session is coming up. It's the final session on Wednesday, November 3rd from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., all held virtually. You can call us at 764-3721 or email us at info@acap-me.org, and we will send you out the link to participate in the Zoom session. We go over a number of our 40+ programs here at the agency, talk about some of the new income eligibility guidelines and even some of the new programs that are available as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, such as rental assistance. So it's a great opportunity to get a primer or a quick bit of information on each of the programs that are direct service programs that help individuals across Aroostook County. If you are in need of help paying your rent, one of those programs I just mentioned, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, is available to you. Essentially, if you are a renter and meet the income eligibility guidelines, which are available on our website, you do qualify for the program. We encourage you to call us, or probably the best avenue to take is to go to mainhousing.org/COVID-rent and apply for the program online. If you aren't unable to get online to apply for the program for whatever reason, or find that difficult, we can either walk you through it and do it for you over the phone. If you want to give us a call, we'll get you signed up for the program. Or if you'd like to make an appointment to visit one of our locations, we can also help you enroll for the program that way as well. We're also offering supports to individuals who are experiencing or maybe experiencing an eviction notice. If you are in that predicament, please do give us a call. We have a housing stability team that is available to help, including getting you this rental assistance in quick order so that we can avoid that eviction and work with you to get you stabilized in your housing. The Hope and Prosperity Resource Center, as we have been telling you, is reopened now at our new 1 Edgemont Drive location. For those of you who are familiar with the location of where the Agency on Aging was, the Aroostook Area Agency on Aging, that former location is where the Hope and Prosperity Center is now located. It's open every day, Monday through Friday, from 9 to 3 p.m., 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We help individuals who are experiencing homelessness or housing insecurity navigate various services, connect with technology, and work with people across the ACAP organization to be connected with services, everything from connecting to education and employment, to trying and assist to find housing, to allowing you to go on the computer to look for work opportunities and others. It's a very valuable resource, and we encourage you to take advantage of it or to recommend anybody who may want to take advantage of these services. ACAP is also announcing and pleased to announce that we will be adding a childcare classroom, an infant and toddler childcare classroom in our Fort Kent location for children ages 6 weeks to 3 years old. The Fort Kent Center, along with all of our other ACAP early care and education centers, is a state of Maine licensed childcare center that has certified teachers on site and is a state of Maine quality 4 rated program. That's the highest rated program that the state offers. The infant and toddler program will be opening later this month, and we are still taking applicants for that. You can register online, you can fill out the application online, or you can certainly give us a call for more information. But the online presence, acap-me.org, is a great place to start that process. We are also reminding folks that this time of year, we are offering winter coats as well as clothing of all kinds available in our community closet, which is available 24/7 to anyone in need and is located at ACAP 771 Main Street office in Presque Isle. We are also accepting donations. We prefer that those donations come to us if possible during business hours, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We also have a limited supply of coats that we are leaving outside at this time to not encourage folks from taking more than one. So if you are able to come during the day, we have additional coats. If there's not one out there that's the size for your child or for you, you can certainly come into the building and we can help you find a coat in some of the supply that we have inside. Again, just leaving a limited supply outside at night. We also want to remind folks that now is the time to get your COVID-19 vaccination. If you haven't already, or if you're looking for a booster shot, there is a website, maine.gov/COVID-19/vaccines, that will show you where you can get that done. If you're unable to go online and need assistance with that, you can call us at 764-3721, and we'll be happy to assist you to connect with a vaccine site over the phone. We also want to remind folks that if transportation is a barrier for you and you can't get to that site, there is a free vaccine ride program that is being offered through the Department of Health and Human Services. The number is there on your screen to call. They ask that you reserve your appointment for a ride at least 48 hours in advance, and we encourage you to do that as well. COVID social supports are being offered through ACAP for individuals who are asked to isolate or quarantine and are asked to do so safely. These support services allow you to do that. We can help with delivering groceries and meals to your home, helping you with shelter assistance if a hotel is required so that you can stay safe as our other family members are impacted. So if you're a close contact or are experiencing COVID-19 and are asked to isolate and quarantine, please do give us a call. There's a whole host of programs and services that we can offer you support with. And we do offer it across Aroostook County with personnel close to you that can deliver groceries and other staples to your home as well. Again, 764-3721, or you can go onto the DHHS website and register through a questionnaire there. And finally, in this week's news and information you can use, as always, if there is a service that you need and you're not quite sure where to turn for help, if you are in need of assistance with heating, if you are in need of assistance with food and the like, and just aren't sure where to turn or in need of multiple services, please contact our ACAP Navigators. They're here to connect you with services. They can be reached at 764-3721. And we encourage you to take advantage of this service. It's one of the extended services that we're offering to help folks during COVID-19, but also the way we do business here at ACAP and trying to connect folks with multiple services. And with that, that's this week's news and information you can use. I'm pleased now to welcome to our program two members of ACAP's Housing Services department. They are Randy Rattray, who oversees our energy and housing services, and Karl Bonus, who is a relatively new member of the team. And this is your first appearance on ACAP today. So Karl, I'll start out by saying hello and welcome to you.
Well, hello and thank you. It's good to be here.
Great. So maybe you could just let folks know really quickly what it is that you do with ACAP before we switch over to Randy to talk about some of the programs and services that we offer.
All right. So I'm a housing specialist here at ACAP, and my job is I go out and I audit people's homes to determine what they could use to help weatherize them, tighten them up, and keep them a little bit warmer in the winter.
Great. We're going to circle back with you and talk about that in just a little bit. But so for folks out there, if you are receiving weatherization services from ACAP, Karl may be coming by your home and he'll be reaching out to you and calling you. So please give him a warm welcome as we have to the work that he does here at ACAP. Randy Rattray, in terms of you, welcome back to ACAP today. I know how much you relish the opportunity to talk about your programs. You really do, and do a good job with it. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Jason.
So let's start there, because many folks, if you're not directly involved and directly engaged, don't know the breadth and depth of services that we offer here at the agency, and they are ever evolving. So why don't you give us a little bit of an overview about the programs and services we offer through housing here at ACAP, especially as we head into these colder winter months?
Okay. Yeah, we do have several programs that that are under the housing umbrella here at ACAP. I'll start out first with the lead hazard reduction program, which basically is funded through Maine Housing with HUD funds, and it provides financial assistance to low-income homeowners and owners of residential rental units to repair lead-based paint hazards. Most of our work for this program is referred out to us by the Childhood Lead Poisoning Prevention Program with children under 6 that have an elevated blood lead level. And the services we offer through that program are basic lead-based paint inspection, design services, and also managing the construction progress of a lead abatement project. Next programs we have would be the home repair programs. We actually have 2 of those, one funded by state funds through Maine Housing, and the other funded through federal funds by the Community Development, Maine DECD. But both programs are very similar, have the same income guidelines, same work that we can do. Basically, we can do anything to a home. But because of our funding restrictions, mostly the things we work are emergency situations. Mostly doing roofs, septic systems, replacing wells that are unsafe to drink, lack of potable water, things of that nature. We also have a Maine Housing heat pump program, which is relatively new to the agency. Back in 2019, Governor Mills had an initiative where she wanted to install 100,000 heat pumps throughout the state of Maine, and Maine Housing got on board and started the heat pump program. In order to be eligible for that program, you have to sign up for our HEAP or fuel assistance program and own your home. There is a waiting list for the program that probably about 200 right now. And I think we've installed over 200 units since the program began. It's a very popular program. They work very well in this area for a supplemental heat source. I have one in my home, and I'm happy to say that I have not burned any fuel yet this year. Another program we have is the above ground storage tank program. This program is funded by DEP, and funds are used for replacing fuel oil tanks that are in danger of spilling or tipping over. Funding for that program usually allows us to do between 30 to 35 tank replacements a year. We also have the Central Heating Improvement Program, which is a very popular program this time of year. This program is also, in order to be eligible, you have to receive our HEAP fuel assistance program and own your home, and also be under the 200% federal poverty level. Income guidelines are just a little bit less than fuel assistance, but if you have any unreimbursed medical expenses, we can take that away from your income. So most people would, if they receive fuel assistance, they would be eligible for our Central Heating Improvement Program.
And Randy, that program does what? You can replace, but also repair a system. Talk about what that options are there.
Yeah, most of our work is based on emergency need. We take care of no heat situations in the winter months. We always hire a licensed technician to go out and look at the heating systems. And what we have them do is what we call a clean tune-up and evaluation. So they'll go out and do an annual cleaning of the unit and an evaluation, efficiency testing, look for code violations or any safety items that they find. And a lot of those units we end up replacing. We can do almost anything to the heating system, fuel tank or chimney under that program. So it's a very popular program. And it's based, there's a small wait list, but if you have a no heat situations, those come to the top of the list and we take care of those right away. The other program we have available is a weatherization program. And that program is basically designed to save fuel or reduce the fuel consumptions in homes that receive the fuel assistance program. To be eligible, you have to receive fuel, also be under the 200% poverty level. All of the fuel assistance applications are ranked on what we call a WAC rank, 1 through 20 point scale. And that scale is based upon family makeup, poverty level, and energy cost burden. Households that have an elderly individual or a handicapped individual or a child under 6 will receive a priority. In other words, they get extra points on their WAC rank. We do basically 55 to 60 homes a year. That may increase because there is talk of additional funding coming our way in the future, especially through DOE in the next grant period. We deliver this program with 2 private contractors, one in Fort Kent and one in the Holton area. And we also have our own ACAP 3-man crew based here out of Prescott. That's what we have for programs available.
And always considering and looking for new contractors as well, especially if we're considering looking at expanding the program. Randy, is that something that if a contractor is watching us right now, they might want to consider?
Correct. We're always looking for contractors for any number of businesses or trades. We're looking for general contractors to do our home repair programs, heating system technicians or oil companies to do our central heating improvement programs. Anybody who is trained to install heat pumps. If you're interested in doing any work for ACAP, please reach out to us. You can go to our website. There's a contractor application there. We're always in need of contractors.
Good point to put out there. Other information that we want to make sure that we put out there, Randy, you also oversee in your basket of programs, the Home Energy Assistance Program. And obviously we provide assistance and fuel assistance to communities throughout Aroostook County and households throughout Aroostook County. But what are some tips that people in their homes can do as they're preparing for a new heating system, and quite frankly, already at the start of one here in Aroostook County?
So I guess as far as heating system goes, the tips I would have would be to find a vendor that you like, find a vendor that you trust, and stick with them. Do this before you have problems. A vendor is much more likely to want to service your unit or respond to your problems if he's actually worked on your heating system in the past. At this time, we've been having problems with contractors because they're so busy and they seem to be limited. Some of our larger companies are telling us that we're only going to provide services to our customers. If you don't receive fuel from us, don't come our way to get your furnace service, because we don't have time to do it. A lot of our vendors that are working for our heating system improvement program are booking out at least 2 months right now. So yeah, find a contractor that you like, stick with them, and build that relationship. That's very important. Also, I would ask that everybody have their heating system cleaned annually. That's very important in a couple of different ways. Number one, it'll keep your heating system running at its maximum efficiency and save you some fuel. Might save you a little bit of money. Also, it might prevent a breakdown in the middle of the night or on the weekend when you have to call somebody and pay double time to have them come out and take a look at it. If you have one of the newer thermostats that take batteries, I'd recommend that you learn how to change those batteries and change them at the start of the heating seasons. I've heard a number of stories where contractors have been called in the middle of the night and go out to somebody's home, and all they do is change the batteries in the thermostat. And I mean, that could cost somebody a couple $100 just to have that done. So yeah, learn how to do that. Also, if you have a warm air furnace, change the air filter. That will help the furnace provide adequate heat flow across the heat exchanger, give you better air circulation throughout the house to distribute the heat. It'll also expand the life of your heating system because it keeps the heat exchanger cooler. Lastly, and this is a big problem that we see with outside fuel tanks, they have a tendency this time of the year to condensate on the inside. Much like if you leave your car outdoors overnight and if you see the hood has got a water vapor on it, fuel tanks do that same thing on the inside, especially if they're low on fuel. And that condensation isn't exposed to the air, so it doesn't get a chance to evaporate. So it just goes down into the fuel. So then when you get a freeze thaw cycle, if it gets cold, it freezes. So then you don't get any fuel through your fuel line. So you're calling a vendor. He comes out, has to suck some water out of the fuel tank, charges you $300 or $400. If he doesn't get it all, when it warms up again, you've got water again. So it's an expensive problem, and we see it all the time. So if you have an outside fuel tank, I would recommend that if you can afford it, to fill it up in the summer and let it set all summer full to just alleviate that problem of condensation inside.
Good tips, Randy. And speaking of tips, Karl Bonus, let's go over to you and talk about things that people can do. We just heard from Randy what you can do with your heating system, but you work in people's homes every day and check out as we're preparing to do a weatherization, and on the after side of doing a weatherization. And not everybody has the professional skills that our contractors and our crew go in and do, but there are things that people can do in their own home to better prepare themselves to endure the cold winter that's coming.
Yeah, there's a few simple things you can do, really fairly inexpensive. It's all going to cost you a couple bucks, but you put door sweeps and gasketing around your doors, weather stripping. most people have. If you look around your door side to side, you'll see some light. You know, you don't want to see that. Not when you're stepping into the winter heating season. That's a big one. You can stop a lot of heat loss that way. Another good one I find personally works in my house is the window sheet kits, where you put this looks like saran wrap over your window with some double-sided sticky tape, and then you take a blow dryer or whatever and makes it nice and tight. But those cut out a lot of drafting, and in my own personal experience, they're well worth the time it takes to set it up, and they're not very expensive. And then, you know, cracks. If you got cracks in your walls around your trim, and mostly exterior walls and stuff, caulking will do a lot for you. I mean, in most instances, if you can stop the air from there, you know, where you can see it moving through your house, and you're doing a lot right there to help yourself save on some fuel and keep the heat in your home, and maybe not feel that draft across your nose while you're sitting in your living room.
Karl, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going down through my list. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was just going to ask, I know that in the work that you do in going into people's homes, you actually do measure that air infiltration on before you start a job and after. Before we move on to some of the other tips, what are some of what kind of difference do you see when you do a weatherization project like that in terms of how much air is being infiltrated into a home?
Just mostly, I mean, we're doing just that. A lot of your air sling in the attic and stuff, but we target. I run a blower door test and then suck all the air through your house and blow it out your front door to see where it's being pulled in to your house, and then concentrate on sealing those areas off. Then we try to get 30% decrease in the airflow through your home, as that's our goal. And that is the biggest part of it. We add insulation and stuff, but air infiltration is the biggest culprit to heat loss. So these little things, sealing little cracks, making sure your attic is adequately ventilated so that you're keeping the heat in the house and not in the attic space. I mean, these all add up to big savings in over years. What
else do you have there?
What's that?
What else do you have there for tips?
A big one too is your attic hatch. If you have an attic hatch, I mean, in most cases, it's just a square piece of wood that somebody can push up into your attic to open it up. So, I mean, take a little bit of silicone caulking and go around that, or some weather stripping, just so that you don't have that air going right out the open hole in your attic. That's a big one. Anywhere that you can put some, in my own experience, anywhere where you can put some plastic and you can stop that air from penetrating. You know, if you have a north facing wall that's not sided the best, or my in-laws have an old house with cedar shakes, and every fall they put some plastic sheeting on that side of the house just to stop the driving wind from blowing right through the wall. Ultimately, it's because their house isn't insulated well enough, and you wouldn't need that if it was well insulated, but it's not. Like most houses in Maine that were built in the late 1800s, early 1900s, it's probably just got a little bit of sawdust in the walls. So anything you can do to stop the air from blowing through makes a huge difference.
What are some of the things that the crew that we work with, our crew and the contractors, do when you go in to do a weatherization?
The big ones seem to be going in your basement and making sure you don't have an attic bypass all the way up around your chimney, because that's a big one that just goes right up through your house and does nothing for anybody and goes right out through your roof. That, and adding insulation in your attic. We try to raise we bring the R value up to an R49, which is more than most people have in their old homes, because we have really old homes in Maine. So that's a big one. And insulating box sills and basement walls do a lot too.
Now, I know that you've not been with the agency for very long, but what have you heard from some of the folks, especially when you go back for sort of that follow-up visit and you do the air infiltration test again and you see the difference made? What have folks been telling you about the work that we're doing or we're able to do in partnership with contractors?
Thank you. We do good things. And I love going to people's homes and helping them. And I haven't had anybody that was disappointed in having their house tightened up and saving them a little bit of money. So they're glad. Floors are warmer. You know, people are more comfortable when they're sitting in their living rooms. I've gone and done quite a few heat pump inspections now. People love their heat pumps and they love that air conditioning in the summer. We don't need it very long up here, but it's nice to have.
Indeed. Randy, let's just put that into perspective so folks understand, because it's not, we can't just pick up the phone and call and say, can you schedule me for weatherization at ACAP? We really want to encourage folks to register for Home Energy Assistance Program, correct?
That's correct. The gateway to our weatherization program and also our CHIP program, or Central Heating Improvement Program, is the fuel assistance or HEAP application. The application is one and the same for all three programs. For the weatherization program, everybody who applies and receives fuel assistance is put onto a waiting list for weatherization. They're all scored by what we call a WAC rank. If you have an elderly or handicapped or a child under 6, you automatically get 10 points. There's a range of points for energy burden, income, and one other thing, which is poverty level. So there's a sliding scale for those three things. So the maximum you can get is 20 points and the lowest is 1 point. And we try to do the highest ranked individuals in each town first. And of course, we try to spread out and make it fair to everybody in our process. Yeah.
I just want to check in really quickly with you on the Home Energy Assistance Program, which you also oversee. We're in the new season for the Home Energy Assistance Program, and I know that we've been sharing with folks, but the talk about for a minute the supplemental benefit, the payment that folks received and the significance of that, but also we really want folks to stick with their appointments for this year as well.
Yes. Anybody, main housing in October or the first of the month, anybody who received the HEAP program last year automatically received a supplemental benefit that was equal to their first benefit of last year. That benefit does not replace this year's fuel assistance. So it's very important for people to keep their appointment and do their HEAP application this year so that they will also receive this year's funding. That should be huge for people. We always, during the month of October and the 1st of November, we always had individuals calling us with, you know, I need fuel, I need emergency fuel. We're hoping that will kind of alleviate some of that. But if you do find yourself in that situation, please call us. We'll still have those funds available. And I would recommend anybody who thinks they're even close to being income eligible for the program to apply. Let us figure out whether you are or not. Don't try to do that on your own, because we can take medical deductions away from your income. You know, reach out to us and sign up for the program. There's money out there. Don't think that if you don't get it, somebody else is going to get it. There's money. There's enough money there for everybody. So that's old school thinking. So yeah, anybody should apply.
Yes, and with the cost of fuel oil going into the season being higher than it was last season, we certainly do encourage people, if you have an appointment, make sure you keep that appointment. If you don't, please call us to schedule one. And there's no problem in having an appointment later in the season. The fuel that you will get will go directly to your fuel vendor account, and it will be there until you use it, or for 18 months. So certainly an appointment in the spring is actually not a bad thing, and it's a lot quicker to get in when you're looking to schedule a brand new appointment if you haven't previously been a customer in the month of April, for example. So we encourage you to do that. Randy, Karl, anything that we forgot to talk about or that we haven't talked about that you wanted to share with folks?
The only other thing I can think of, Jason, is recently in the news, I've heard that they expect energy costs for this year's heating system to be approximately 54% above last year's cost. So it's very important for people If you think you're eligible for our programs, please call, please apply. We have help that we want to give you.
Absolutely. Good advice from you, Randy, and Karl. Thank you both for being my guests on this week's edition of ACAP Today. Before we leave you, and again, say thank you to our guests, we want to remind you that if you are interested in potentially joining our ACAP team, we have positions located across Aroostook County, even a couple in Washington County that we're offering right now for a new program, our Youth Homeless Demonstration Project. So if you're interested, we are currently offering a $500 sign-on bonus, and we have a wide array of benefits, some of which you can see there on your screen. We'd encourage you to visit us online and check out those opportunities and apply to join our team. We'd love to have you on the team, on the ACAP team. And lastly, as we end this week, we do always with our snapshot of the week. This is a snapshot from the Washburn Elementary School, where they set a goal of promoting more consumption of water at their school, and our own ACAP 5210 Let's Go program provided them water bottles and resources for the students to help them attain that goal. So here you're seeing Renee Bragdon with the school nurse and a student at Washburn District Elementary School helping to consume more water, which we can all certainly do. Water is very good for you, and you need more than, I believe, 8 glasses a day is what they recommend. So we certainly encourage you folks to drink more water as well, and to connect with our 5210 Let's Go program if you have any questions on how we might support you doing that. With that, that's this week's edition of ACAP Today. On behalf of the Aroostook County Action Program, I'm Jason Parent. We'll be back next week with a brand new edition of ACAP Today. Until then, have a great week, everyone. See you then.